Goofy has been around nearly for a century, and at that time he has had a lot of merch, plushies, pins, you name it. But today, we're focusing on action figures. But which one stands above the rest? Which company nailed the balance between price, detail, and accuracy? If you had just to choose one, who would it be? Today, we're diving into the world of Goofy figures to find out who has the best Goofy action figure of all time. Now, this is the second episode of the series, the previous being Mickey, and how I decided to start was removing the figures that were just fluff. But I narrowed it down on three key factors: price, detail, and accuracy. So right off the bat, that means we're cutting out minifigures too small for the detail we're looking for. Statues also out, they're display pieces, not action figures. And if we keep tightening the criteria, that also means no one-time exclusive, no holiday editions, and nothing that was available at limited events. We're looking for something that most collectors could actually get their hands on, not just a lucky few, aka price. So that does mean figures that are/were available online with big names such as Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store do count, as well as the ones available at the parks. So with that, we just cut out thousands of figures from the running. And with that, I can really start thinking. The first thing that comes to mind is this Goofy figure released by the Disney parks in 2025. Yes, this is part of the same set as this Mickey figure we looked at last time, which is great for keeping everything to scale. This Goofy stands about 7 inches tall and is perfectly accurate to the character. It's available in the Disney parks, meaning like Disney Springs, which is free to enter, which is perfect. Want something simple, this is it. And it retails for $24.95, so not that bad for what you're getting for the price range. The figure is made of plastic, but it's high quality, so don't let that put you off. The finish and detail are excellent. Plus, there are no characters in the set, so you could bid out the full clubhouse and matching quality and scale. But the only drawback that is, it's not posable. It's kind of stuck like this. The only movable pieces are being the arms, so it's not that great of articulation there. But the sculpt is there. But there is another figure I feel that almost everybody knows about, which doesn't have this issue, and that is the Toybox 2-pack of Goofy and Donald. But for today's video, just Goofy. This Goofy figure is 5.5 inches tall, so it can scale with other types of figures such as Marvel Legends, but not so much McFarlane's DC. The Disney Toybox Goofy figure also has 13 points of articulation, at the neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, knees, and ankles. So it's not like the Disney Parks one that was kind of fixed to one type of pose. This 2-pack retailed for $18, but that was a couple years ago. Nowadays it goes around for $40 to $50, which I think is high. But you could find this around for $15 loose, and maybe in antique stores, there we go, for even less. So don't buy into the high prices. You could probably get this in the price range of $10. Yeah! But now I'm gonna switch it up. Before I would have continued to find more high-end figures, but I feel like the two that we have looked at are good enough for the average collector. So we're gonna look at two figures that are unique, but still are accurate, more for the flex than anything else. So we are first looking at the Disney Parks Magnetic Figure 2-pack that was released in 2013, and just how we did the Toybox 2-pack, we're just focusing on Goofy. So in this magnetic figure collection, there were 4 sets to collect: Mickey and Goofy, Buzz and Woody, Jack and Sally, and Jack Sparrow and Skeleton, which I realized there's 2 Jacks. Now, their gimmick was by the name magnetic figures, meaning all the parts would snap into place. The arms, the legs, and head would all have magnets, which would snap into the body. But you might be thinking, that means no articulation, right? And yes, you will be kind of correct, kind of. The only type of articulation present are for the elbows and knees, so nothing crazy and nothing like the Toybox Goofy by a long shot. But this is more for the novelty of what it is. It's a magnetic Goofy figure, which does not have a high of a price tag. This figure usually goes for $20 to $30. The lowest I saw was $15. So the price of figures nowadays, and that includes Mickey, $20 for 2 figures. That's a deal. Looking at you, Hasbro. Now, for this final figure, this person comes from an island, is next to North Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Japan. Yeah, Bandai. Anyways, besides that beautiful intro, this figure, for this final figure, the gimmick is that it folds up neatly into an egg shape, which is the most flat out lie ever. If this is an egg, I'm gonna send you to the North Sentinel Island. I ain't gonna lie. But besides the lie, it's good. What? It only goes for $5, which out of them all is the cheapest, and it has the Bandai quality, so not that bad. And the foldability does not mess with the sculpt in any way from the looks of things. It was hidden quite nicely. And again, these last 2 figures we looked at were more for the flex/gimmick to show off. So after that, who really made the best Goofy action figure? Well, it depends on a couple of things. While articulation of value, the Toybox Goofy gives you a Marvel Legend level of figure for under $25, being $15. Great sculpt, great price, and a great pickup. Want something that could be bold and look good on a shelf? Disney's own 7-inch park figure is perfect. Easy to find, well made, and won't break the bank, and easily can be part of some big display. Looking for something simple and unique? Disney Magnetic Figure Collection is great and has honors to collect. Something cool to show off, And for something many people may not know about, Bandai's A Collection Goofy is all that. Great price, $5. Unique at best, like a Transformer that's really not like a Transformer. More like... So, in the end, there's no one size fits all answer, but if you're getting one, go with the one that fits your collection best. And let me know in the comments which goofy you think takes the crown. And if I miss one you think deserves to mention, drop it below. These are just my personal opinion, and I would love to hear yours. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.